Matthew organises his account of the birth of Jesus around 5 Old Testament quotations that Jesus fulfilled.
People sometimes claim that Matthew made up parts of this account to fulfill these prophecies in the Old Testament. Let's look a bit deeper.
Sometimes a prophecy was fulfilled in a straightforward way in the life of Jesus. For example, it was foretold that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem, as Jesus was.
But sometimes the fulfillment doesn't look much like the original. And in one case, it isn't even clear where Matthew is quoting from.
What Matthew meant when he talked about an Old Testament prophecy being fulfilled isn't exactly the same as we mean. So what did he mean?
Matthew and the other writers of the New Testament believed that God had been actively at work in the history of Israel, recorded in the Old Testament. The same God had now acted in a new and decisive way in Jesus.
But because God was the same, he often acted in similar ways. There were patterns in history.
So it wasn't just the words of the prophets in the Old Testament that foretold things about Jesus, but also things that happened in the Old Testament could model events in the life of Jesus. There were patterns in history.
So for Matthew, Jesus didn't just fulfill the words that were spoken in the Old Testament. Sometimes he also repeated patterns of events.
This is why we need to understand the accounts of Jesus' birth against the background of what God said and did in the Old Testament.
Why not read Matthew's account of the birth of Jesus for yourself? There's a link in the text with this video.